I've been noodling what I'd do in a rebooted DC comic book universe for about a decade. The term reboot tends to mean fresh start, unconnected to what came before. But DC never does a clean reboot. Crisis on Infinite Earths, Superman and Wonder Woman, heavily rebooted. Swamp Thing and Teen Titans, business as usual. Zero Hour, Hawkman and Legion of Superheroes, very rebooted. Everything else, basically the same. In my hypothetical world, it's a full reboot. Hopefully, it would feel different enough to warrant the reboot while adhering to the core of the character. My least favorite reboots are the ones that try to skip forward and pretend there's history to this world they're making up on the fly. Not only does this lead to inconsistencies when the left hand doesn't know what the right is doing, but some of my favorite stuff is seeing these heroes develop. I don't have to see the Waynes get killed again, but if this is a new universe, I want to see how different it is from the old one. We would start at the very beginning. We won't be doing immediate rest where the hero's been at it for a while. Superman is so iconic, people are up in arms if you remove the S from his cape. Every aspect of Superman has two extremes people argue about. Did Clark protect Smallville as Superboy, or start his superheroism as an adult in Metropolis? Did he know Lex as a youth, or meet him for the first time in Metropolis? Is he a vegetarian or a voracious meat eater? Was Krypton an emotionless Vulcan society, or did they have bright colors? Did Jor-El blindly send Clark into space, or know where he was sending him? Should the Kents both be dead, one be dead, or none be dead? Is Superman the real face and Clark Kent the mask, or vice versa? I've seen good versions of all of these extremes, and people smarter than me have argued passionately in these debates. No matter which side you take, you will displease somebody. Clark doesn't know what he is until he's an adult. He leaves home after Pa Kent dies to travel the world and look for clues about his past or others like him. He's done some non-costume heroics, but tried to keep it under the radar. His parents are not telling him to avoid saving people. They are telling him to be careful. Sinister parties might cut him up if they knew what he was capable of. This is the motivator for creating the dual identity. He fell in love with a mermaid spy, though they agreed it wouldn't work. Mysterious superhuman teenagers teamed up with him and secretly saved his life. I wouldn't go American Alien where he meets the entire DC universe before he becomes Superman, but it makes sense for him to meet a few characters, like Zatara training Clark's stage techniques for building his dual identity. Clark didn't know he wanted to be a journalist, but saw intergang activity around the world and knew it would take more than his abilities to stop them. Intergang is centered in Metropolis, which isn't as corrupt as Gotham or Bloodhaven, but it's still corrupt. Intergang's led by the Ultra-Humanite, Superman's arch-nemesis for his first year in Metropolis. This Superman is a cross between the brash New 52 version and My Adventures with Superman. Clark is the first costumed hero, and his big splash inspires our usual suspects to don costumes. Clark is opposed to government corruption and fights it with the power of the press, though this would still be a superhero series with weird sci-fi threats. As Clark has limited information about what he is, this forces us to focus on the non-Krypton-based villains, and it spotlights the theme I like. While Clark isn't from around here, he's a child of Earth more than a child of Krypton. My least favorite thing about My Adventures is every villain is connected to Kryptonian tech. You can do that some, but this is a big universe. Play with the other weird things in it. I would take Superman back to his leap tall buildings and a single bound power levels. You don't want to start with someone powerful enough to move the moon, because where do you go from there? It takes years of exposure to the yellow sun to give Clark his powers. When he was a kid, he was basically normal. That's why he wore glasses. The older he gets, he might be able to fly, but now moving a train could hurt him. Krypto is a shape-shifting protector that arrived on Earth with Clark and took the form of a dog. He's in Smallville with Martha. John Byrne's take of Lois likes Superman but Clark wins her over is good. Perry White is almost ready to retire and is getting Lois ready to replace him. Jimmy Olsen's not the golly gee willikers Mr. Kent many see him as. He's turning into monsters, motorcycle chases with secret agents, accidentally getting engaged to Mixia Spitlick's daughter. Lana Lang is Clark's platonic childhood friend. She goes into fashion, lives in Metropolis until a Star Labs thing turns her into a massive insect. When it's reversed, she can communicate with insects. It's Clark's turn to help Lana realize, even though she's different, she's still human. She and Helgermite leave Earth with other insect mutations, forming an alliance with the Spider Guild. After Superman saves the city, the law lays off of him, and he becomes friendly with Emil Hamilton and John Henry Irons of Star Labs. Superman should have an interesting supporting cast, but they shouldn't be the most interesting thing in this comic. Brain-breaking superhero adventures should keep people talking, with Ron Troop and Lucy Lane's marital problems being small background drama. Superman's got a lot of villains, and I've got a lot to say about them in another video. I hope you like this. I'll be back in the future with something else. Until then, have a good one.